Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with the grand finals of the ASL tournament. Once again, we have this strong engagement in between the two pro players from the South Korean scene. So let me just start by introducing them to you. As we have spawning here in the upper right, in the red, it is MARU, and his opponent in the lower left, in the blue, it is Dark. Both players spawning on Data C, the first map here. Let's just have a look what exactly they will prepare for us. As by the looks of it, MARU deciding to play it pretty standard, open up here with his supply depot. Not deciding to move out with a proxy barracks harassment against his opponent. And Dark, by the looks of it, also playing quite normally, not going for his fast spawning pool, actually going for a fast expansion. So the pretty standard build orders by the both players here in game number 1 from Valencia. Quite an interesting matchup here. MARU, of course, considered to be currently the best Terran in the world, and Dark also one of the most talented Zergs there is. Yeah, let's still continue watching their build orders. Barracks into refinery. I believe MARU is going to send out a Reaper really soon to check out the proximity here for Dark. So Dark with a standard open up. If he's going to continue, of course, with his extractor and spawning pool really soon, placing this spawning pool actually very close to his mineral lines. So yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be. The overload is also nicely making its way out for Dark. Second overload, of course, still checking the points here where exactly proxy barrack harassment could happen, but yeah, no such thing out of MARU, as he's preparing also his expansion point, sending out the first SCV to scout the zone here. So yeah, let's see what he's doing. He's actually also expanding, and there is one SCV is of course really important just to check out if there is a fast expansion for the Zerg or not. This is exactly why most Terrans really like to move out and scout the proximity. So some drones will be transferred here by Dark. In comes the SCV, sees the blight, so he can return home. The same can be said here by Dark, as his overlord also sees now the barracks here into this location. So pretty standard open up. Let's have a look at the continuation. We see a factory is being built by MARU, and he might also continue into a starport. So the factory is being placed here. Starport should of course be the next move by the Terran, as those medivacs are also really important. Dark also expanding into this location at around the 2 minute and 20-second mark. Reaper comes in, so nothing out of the ordinary yet, just a pretty standard open up build order by both players. Queen is out, so the harassment is going to stop really soon here by MARU. So yeah, 2 queens are out, larva is getting ejected. Like I told you, nothing out of the ordinary, just the standard stuff. The overlord also stands by here and sees actually the second expansion point by MARU. So MARU not deciding to go into a starport, actually going straight into another command center. So quite macro oriented gameplay here by him. And now finally he goes for his starport, also adding some mules. You can of course see the production tab in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. So yeah, Reaper still roams around, still checks those proximities, still tries of course to be as annoying as possible. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly they will transition for. Is MARU going for an infantry push, perhaps with some medivacs? What is Dark going to decide? He has shown us Link, Bane, even Hydras against the Terrans. Might also try some Mutualisk, it could be a possibility for him. Ultralisk later on. Snipers are of course much used by MARU against the Zerg, as he's now going for his first Viking here, just to snipe of course the overlord here into this location. So yeah, slowly but steadily we're closing at the 5-minute mark. Interesting build orders by both players. Let's check what Dark is actually going for. Does he have a Baning's Nest or Roach Warrant? No such thing. Still more and more creep eggs are being produced. Speed is being done for those Zerglings. So yeah, still staying at Queen Link this time. And yeah, his creep spread is quite impressive here, as he's making out already into this location. So let's check MARU. He has some Hellions, of course Hellions early on, just to try to snipe those workers from the Zerg. Yeah, let's see at the next steps. The command center still hasn't lifted up, so interesting enough, just producing more and more of those SCVs. Really soon he's going to very likely take this location. The Hellions still scout the map here, still try to find some other expansions. And let's see, Dark of course having 2 queens into this location and going double evolution chamber for those upgrades. So interesting stuff here by him. And yeah, in come the Hellions, in comes the Vikings searching for some overlords. Still no major engagement, of course. MARU perhaps a little bit too hesitant here, as finally he might try to bust here forward with 4 Hellions, but there are 3 Queens out, and Queens are of course very much tanky against those Hellions, so MARU has to retreat. And yeah, more and more creep is getting spreaded by Dark, so quite interesting game. Viking comes in, tries to snipe for some of those overlords, but Dark has nicely hidden them here in the back where most of his Queens are located, so still, like I told you, no major harassment here, no major attack, but by the looks of it, MARU wants to change this with 8 Hellions. Let's see if he's going to commit into this location. There's just 2 Queens defending here, so he might try a run by with his units. Let's see, 2 Hellions just to snipe on egg. And yeah, perhaps he's waiting for some reinforcements. He might wait for a medevac, but in comes the push. However, now Dark bringing his Queens, but hold on, we actually have a teleported battlecruiser into this location, taking quite some damage out of those Queens. So the Queens are busy with the battlecruiser, while the Hellions are trying, of course, to bust here forward, but it's still not enough here for MARU, as this will be nicely defended by Dark here against MARU. So nice job here by Dark defending. Still no workers have been sniped by the Terran. An interesting move here by MARU with his battlecruiser. Perhaps he could have also teleported here in the back, but there was a spore here, perhaps into the main. There were a couple of Queens. Maybe it would have been a little bit more successful. Battlecruisers were really, really strong against the drones on the ground. But in the end, I believe he will have to retreat and repair this one battlecruiser. So Dark nicely defending here against MARU. MARU tries, of course, a nice and interesting job with this battlecruiser. He might go for many more battlecruisers, but right now he just has to retreat at home. Yeah, in comes just a couple of Zergs here by Dark, but yeah, MARU should be able to hold this nicely. So nice harassment early on, or a harassment attempt here by MARU, but in the end he has to retreat. He has to repair those units as quickly as possible, so in come those SCVs. So yeah, great hold by Dark. He's also expanding here into this location, adding a spore against those battlecruisers. We see many banings are actually being produced now here by Dark, so Dark might try to bust here forward against MARU really soon. And MARU now just transitioning into more defensive position, having those tanks out. Hellions are also nicely out here. But yeah, perhaps he's going to add some medivacs, but by the looks of it, no, he's going into more and more factories now. What an interesting build order here by him, adding more of those factories. So 4 factories. I believe he's going massive mech units. Tank stores might be an option for him, even Hellions or Hellbats. So yeah, such a huge number of factories here for him with a nice rally point. And yeah, let's see when exactly Dark is going to decide to attack. We have a Nidoswarm being made, and he actually has some mushrooms into this one Nidoswarm. I don't know exactly the name, so I believe it's Swarmhost. This Swarmhost, let's just see exactly what is coming out of this Nidoswarm. Yes, indeed, it is Swarmhost. So interesting tactic here by Dark with this Dark with those Queens and with those Dark Swarms here. So let's see what exactly this is going to be doing here. He's going to land those against the Hellbats, but the Hellbats are a great counter against those Swarmhosts with that splash damage, with that fire against them. So Dark should be able, of course, to hold. Queens have been added for some support, but the tanks are nicely closing in. Dark is retreating to another wormhole, but in the end in comes those battlecruisers, so he should be able to fend this nicely off. Nice job here by MARU killing it. So all of the units will come out of the Nidoswarm here in the back. So MARU Dark just has to walk forward, but his creep spread is really nicely as he's making the air forward towards this location. So nice abusive game here by Dark, showing us the strengths early on by those Swarmhosts in a mix with Zerglings, with Roaches, with Ravagers, as he's taking out a couple of Hellions here, but there are tanks in the back nicely hidden. So a good position here by MARU with his tanks, but yeah, the Swarmhosts are exactly attacking those tanks so slowly but steady, one tank after the other getting snapped. So remember, MARU taking damage, Dark just trading mana, just trading time. It doesn't cost anything to launch those locusts in the air, so it's just a matter of time here for So many swarm hosts here by the dark as the siege continues, and MARU tries of course to move out somehow to escape this siege, so he's moving straight towards this expansion point. The battle cruisers should of course be successful into cancelling that. He might even have Yamamoto gun, he's getting now just upgraded, so let's see. Some queens come back, but those 3 battle cruisers are quite tanky, and yes indeed there is Yamamoto gun available, so three queens instantly die here as the battle cruisers move forward here against Dark, and not that much here to defend, just one spore. Slowly but steadily the queen come back. Dark of course tries to attack with his banelings, with his swarm hosts, but yeah, MARU nicely engaging here, so Dark has to bring back some of those queens, sniping some buildings. 3 drones have been snapped here as well. The Roach Warren might fall also. So interesting strategy here by him with 3 battle cruisers, quite strong against the forces out of Dark. And yeah, really nice job sniping, like I told you, building after building. Some workers will be snapped here as well, actually 8 workers already, so those battle cruisers prove actually really strong here for MARU. More and more workers are falling here for Dark, so quite an interesting tactic here. He might even launch another Yamamoto gun here towards his enemy. He might even snap his one upgrade, so just a show of strength here out of MARU with just 3 battle cruisers. I told them we actually also see some deaths here as the battle cruisers will teleport back home, but they will eat some fireballs out of those Ravagers. So 1 battle cruiser has been killed. Both players trading blows, 13 workers killed for MARU, 14 for Dark. Quite interesting strategies here we have by both players in the grand final. We have passed the 11-minute mark. Interesting game number 1 in between them. And yeah, Hellbats with battle cruisers for MARU, but the siege continues with those locusts in the air, and slowly but steadily more and more tanks will fall. In come the Ravagers with the fireballs against those units, and this building just exploded, so the upgrade has been denied here by Dark really nicely, and actually some workers fall here as well, so much siege going on from the Zerg as he's waiting for those eggs to respawn. Even some corruptors have been brought here forward, so MARU pretty much under siege. He has to react somehow. Perhaps he's going to repair those battle cruisers and once again teleport into a more offensive gameplay here. Yeah, the eggs are ready and the locusts are in the air. Let's see what he's going to attack. Perhaps those tanks once again. The Hellbats in position to defend here. Battle cruisers come forward. The Ravagers and the Roaches here as well attack MARU, so MARU pretty much under siege. Second expansion point is taking quite some damage, and yeah, nice attack here by Dark. So let's see, MARU still in a very defensive gameplay, and in come his snipers. Now those snipers have proven really strong in previous replays here on this channel by MARU, as we also have a crab beetle here witnessing this siege that is going on with those swarm hosts. Some queens have returned, and we also see a nice move out with some Zerglings, with some Ravagers. And yeah, more and more eggs are now finally being thrown here towards MARU as the Hellbats are in position to defend those tanks. Those tanks are really important for MARU. In comes the attack. Tanks are doing splash damage to themselves, but the Hellbats do hold nicely against this attack. Quite strong attack. Now we even have banelings for Dark as the siege continues, and MARU once again moving out with his battle cruisers, trying of course to force a retreat here by Dark. As we also see those the numbers of the snipers just keep growing, and yeah, in come the battle cruiser, but one is falling really low. You might see a Yamamoto gun, but no, it's a little bit too late as MARU has to retreat. We even see a flying gun out of this one battle cruiser. So yeah, the eggs have been once again on the launch for the swarm hosts towards the tanks from MARU. Let's see what's going to happen. Is he going to be successful and to snipe perhaps once a tank or the other? The Hellbats are forced in position to defend. One tank luckily here surviving with 2 HP. Still the siege continues on with so many banelings against those SCVs. So a double front here for Dark, just attacking left and right, sniping once again this expansion point. 18 SCVs have been sniped, some tanks as well. Of course many banelings have been killed as well, but it was all worthy here for Dark. Keeps on continuing this rush towards MARU and just damaging more and more of his units and the economy as well. We have Dark at 70 workers, 68 for MARU. So once again another swarm host has been launched here towards the enemy, where the supply depot pretty much going to fall. The tank is also being attacked. The blue flame Italians are of course their best to defend, but In the meantime, Dark Forces just keeps expanding all over the map and just prepares a wave after wave of banelings. Look at that, so many banelings have been spawned here, and I believe the next attack is going to be targeting the expansion there up. So nice job here by those players. A pretty good defense here by MARU, but look at all of those banelings that are being spawned. This location looks quite vulnerable. Some tanks are here to defend. Let's see what exactly is going to happen. The Swarm Host will attack, and I believe Dark once again is going on a double attack here. His Zerglings and banelings will roll forward. The Swarm Host also attack from the lower ground. In comes the attack, some good connections. In comes the Swarm Host. MARU is nicely holding, but still 14 workers have been killed here. So yeah, 15 workers have fallen. As yeah, the siege just keeps continuing here against against MARU. So a nice game we have here in between the two pros. First game number 1. More banelings to get some good connections here against MARU. Nice job here by him. The MARU somehow holds with those tanks in the back. And yeah, Dark just keeps relentlessly sending wave after wave of those Zerglings, and now even attacking into the main production buildings of MARU. Nice job here by him. This is also going to take out some of those SCVs. The factories will also very likely fall, so Dark is showing us the strengths out of those locusts and those, even a Nidus Swarm we have here into this location. Yeah, nice job here by him. As now another attack is happening here, MARU tries of course somehow to bust here forward. Just going to try to be successful here. Nidus Swarm has been finished, but in the end going to get sniped, so another wave might be really soon ready for Dark to attack. We do see the snipers now coming in, and yeah, the locusts will fall here. So nice job here by MARU, showing us that potential out of those ghosts against the units. We even see Dark more and more being more and more abusive with his Nidus Swarms, and with those locusts still snapping more and more of the workers from MARU. 12 more workers have been sniped. Slowly but steadily MARU is being able to push this back with his snipers, being successful sniping some of those locusts. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. More and more Nidus Swarms are being added. Dark of course adding more and more of those units. His economy looking now much bigger than the economy from MARU. And yeah, let's see for how long MARU is going to be able to hold this attack by Dark versus him. He's trying to push out with those Hellbats, he's trying to push out with the snipers, but he is still being kept at bay by Dark. And yeah, once again the locusts will be very likely successful against those tanks on the ground. Of course, splash damage being taken. And yeah, like I told you, locusts, those launchers don't cost anything, just no minerals, no gas. But yeah, let's see if MARU is going to be now successful here in moving out. Try some Yamamoto guns against the Ravagers, being successful. Tries of course to snipe those worms here, and at the same time securing his expansion points. So yeah, let's see, more and more Nidus Swarms have been added here by Dark, as he's going to be sending out more and more of his units here, wave after wave towards MARU. So MARU pretty much under siege, coming here forward with so many snipers. The snipers have been nicely guarded in the back, but in the end another Locust Swarm has been launched here against MARU. So MARU taking some damage, but at the same time we see Dark busting here forward into the middle of the map. Some snipers might be killed as roaches with Ravagers, and those bangs in the front are really strong. So yeah, MARU is holding on, but for how long, as wave after wave more and more is being casted here towards him. And let's see, now finally MARU deciding to be a bit more aggressive. He's pushing out with his Hellbats, with his battle cruisers. The tanks however are still in the back just to defend, of course. Now they're finally also moving out, so MARU finally having the courage to move out, even landing one of those Vikings. But yeah, in come those Locusts once again, this time in a more defensive position against the units from MARU, and here they land. Will be able to snap some of those Hellbats. Yeah, now his Dark pretty much under siege, so the things have turned. He needs to get however some great connections. MARU has to retreat, he has to cloak his snipers here, but the bangs coming from the front and do take out those snipers, so quite strong engagement, but still so much supply here for Dark, not attacking those swarm hosts, are just on the ground here. And now MARU really feeling quite confident here with his attack, with 65 supply of an army versus 74 Dark, and finally the swarm host will be able to launch those eggs. But is it going to be enough, as MARU is going to bring his reinforcements here forward, some tanks on the ground. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Still a very balanced game, still anyone's game. Finally MARU finding the courage to move out, attacking this location, taking out perhaps this one hatchery. And Stark is also moving out with his roaches on the ground. So yeah, finally the hatchery has been sniped. Small victory here for MARU, as he also has to retreat. Now finally having so many medivacs for him, will be able to hold this position as the battle cruisers do move out here for him as well. So quite a good choice by him just to go for those battle cruisers. Well, we do see a corruptor in the air. Actually more and more corruptors have been added, so MARU needs to be careful with his 2 battle cruisers. Finally deciding to teleport out and just repair at home. So yeah, still a balanced game. Locusts once again on the attack, once again sniping a tank perhaps or 2. How much HP do they have? Let's just see. 50 HP for one Locust, quite strong, versus only 45 for those SCVs. So yeah, we have passed the 20-minute mark. Quite an interesting game, but Dark just keeps expanding all over the place while attacking. So what an interesting game we have here. Game number 1 between them. Still, like I told you, anyone's game. We've seen MARU come back with his mech force, with those snipers versus the Zerg, but yet Dark looks like he's having so much more control of the map, and we might see once again an attack as the eggs have been launched here by Dark. And yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to kill something out of those units. 2 SCVs have fallen, quite some good splash damage out of this one tank. And yeah, MARU still on the retreat. We see just a couple of Zerglings here being able to damage the economy from MARU. 2 have been killed, 2 SCVs have been killed. And still, both players are now just roaming around. Dark seems to be waiting for the great moment to attack. He's being pretty much maxed out now. He has a strong army, but the same can be said here of course by MARU as well. This is moving out with his forces, quite a strong force of Hellbats. But the Hellbats look like they will be dealt with Banelings. So yeah, it's quite hard for Dark to punch here forward against those tanks in the back and the Hellbats in the front. First he's going to try a Night Swarm harassment once again into this location. Let's see what his options are. He's moving forward with Locusts once again, trying of course to snipe those CVs. Will he be successful? 2 SCVs have fallen here. At the same time, MARU now feeling quite confident, moving out with his Hellbats, with his battle cruisers and the tanks. A nice highway of tanks in the back, but we see some good connections out of those paintings. Yamamoto gun has been used, and yeah, now Corruptors just heading towards those command centers, but MARU looks like he's pretty much going to commit here forward. 15 SCVs have been killed on the map, but MARU not going to retreat back. He's just pretty much committing here into sniping this one hatchery. So yeah, nice job here by him. And yeah, now going to finally retreat, and as Dark is also regrouping in the middle of the map here, also preparing once again an attack with his swarm host. Perhaps he's going to choose this location. Let's see what his options are. Needs to be careful not to lose those swarm hosts against MARU, as MARU pretty much on the retreat now. Some units might get intercepted here by those swarm hosts. Will it be some snipers? Will it be some tanks? We're about to find out. You know, MARU should be okay here, as he even has those medivacs on the air. And yeah, let's see now. Dark finally transitioning into a new position with those Zerglings on the ground. Where exactly is he going to attack for? He has this Night Swarm here. He needs another more aggressive one perhaps into this location, just to snipe the production buildings out of MARU. And yeah, MARU now being quite defensively here, still very low into workers. His army however is still very much strong, and his tanks are nicely hiding in the back here against Darks. So let's see, the snipers will get some good connections here. Some units will fall, the tanks are a little bit exposed, so are pretty much marching here forward. 5 more SCVs have been killed. Battle cruisers do hold the grounds, but the Banelings will get some good connections against the tanks, against the Hellbats. Banelings just keep rolling forward, just sniping everything they can. 10 more SCVs have fallen, tanks have fallen. Dark is also losing quite some of his forces, but in the end I believe his economy is going to allow him to do this. So yeah, 17 supply of workers for Dark, 33 for MARU only. So I believe Dark is just going to be sending more wave after wave here towards MARU. And yeah, let's see for how long this is going to last. MARU having now so many tanks, so he's still into this game. Might try to be more aggressive with those tanks as Dark once again preparing a launch with Ravagers, with Roaches, with Zerglings and Banelings, and now the Locusts are in the air once again. He's trying for a good flank. Might snipe some of the tanks once again. Tanks sadly damaging each other with splash damage. So some tanks have fallen here as well. At the same time, Dark also moving out into this location, sniping some of those workers once again. 40 more workers have been killed, and these SCVs are quite exposed with those Banelings. And look at that, 13 kills with those Banelings. So great job here by Dark. Sadly for MARU, he has fallen to 3 workers only, while the corruptors are vomiting all over the place here towards those command centers. At the same time, Dark now pretty much under siege. MARU has to make his move. His army is still strong. He's going to be able to snipe this one hatchery. And yeah, just force a pullback here by Dark. So yeah, Dark just currently really strong with his economy, launching more of those locusts towards the enemy, towards MARU. Sadly here for MARU, I don't know for how long he's going to be able to hold with only 3 workers. Just keep getting more and more damage, and I believe we might see a GG very soon out of MARU. Sadly for him, he has 3 workers. Nothing is being produced. It's just Dark pretty much having control of the whole map now. His expansion is not producing. Yes, of course, that has to be the GG here by MARU. So Dark taking game number 1 in the end, proving to be a little bit much stronger than MARU. So yeah, let's just jump straight into game number 2. Back with game number 2, such an interesting game number 1. Dark just kept sending wave after wave of units towards MARU, and in the end it was just way too much, especially those Dark Swarms, but also the Zerglings, and especially those Banelings by Dark, proving to be way too much here for the Terran players. So 1-0 it is here for Dark. This time they're spawning on Moondance. Let me once again introduce them to you. The upper left in the blue it is Dark, and his opponent in the lower right in the red it is MARU. So let's see if their build order is going to change. Let's just see if Dark once again is going to opt for that really strong pushing tactic, or perhaps is MARU going to be a little bit more aggressive early on, not allowing Dark's macro game here, as yeah, those locusts were really strong, especially against those tanks. And yeah, battlecruiser idea from MARU was also quite nice. But yeah, let's check the build order, and I don't see a fast expansion here by Dark, so we already have a difference. Is going straight into extractor and spawning pool. Either at, or am I blind not to see the expansion? No, there is actually no fast expansion here by Dark. So Dark with a complete different build order, extractor into spawning pool, and now currently just droning a little bit more up. MARU stays loyal to his same build order, just like in game number 1. Supply depot into those barracks and into the refinery. So yeah, now finally we have the hatchery being built by Dark. So it's a quite small difference as he went for those 2 buildings first. So let's see where exactly this is going to be taking him as he's droning more and more up. And he's also nicely scouting here the map, of course, for those proxies. But yeah, no such thing. They're spawning on Moondance. Interesting name for a map, as we also have nice crystals here, nice vegetation here, very beautiful plants and nice lights. As we see the SCV now moving forward, checks the expansion, checks of course also the timing from the expansion, so now he feels confident to expand himself. So he knows practically by now that there is no creep on the ground from Dark, the timer and what exactly the buildings are at home from Dark. It's a much more faster Zergling expansion here, and even speed is being done by those Zerglings. So MARU could be early under some siege with some Zerglings. Let's have a look if this is going to be the case. We have a Marine here to defend. Second Marine is also out, so no Reaper being done by MARU, as he's going into a bunker now, of course expecting 6 Zerglings to attack. Nicely placing this one bunker next to that command center, next to the ranch, just making it a little bit more difficult here for the Zerg to move forward. So yeah, more Marines are being spawned. Factory, perhaps he's once again going into some Hellions, and actually he does have a Reaper out, so just going to be annoying. But yeah, the Queen is out, some Zerglings are also out here, 6 of them. So Dark might try to move out with quite a strong force of Zerglings towards MARU really soon. But yeah, that bunker should be okay. You know, actually he did cancel this one bunker. So quite interesting as Dark moves now forward with speed. Buildings And let's see, this could be quite interesting as the doorway is shut nicely here by MARU, but his expansion is pretty much exposed, so in come those Zerglings. I'm not quite sure why he did cancel this one bunker, as the speedlings now will now actually pull forward, and he even has to pull some SCVs. Even the mule is being pulled, so quite interesting idea here for MARU cancelling this one bunker, and now he's pretty much under threat as he has to chase those Zerglings away. He will very likely lose another Marine or two, and so many CVs have been pulled, so quite some mining time has been delayed here. As Dark is just going to survive here a little bit more, just cause some panic, but yeah, in the end it's been held, and the Hellion is also out, so good hold here by MARU, but a little bit of mining time has been delayed. And yeah, worker wise we actually see Dark having 10 more workers here than MARU. So yeah, let's see, the second expansion point is not being built, so a completely different strategy here by Dark. Is he going for a Roach Warren? Could this be a Roach Warren push? No, it's actually a Spire, so I haven't even seen. It's a tier 2 attack with a Spire, nicely hidden Spire in the back. So yeah, no second expansion attempts here by Dark, a completely different strategy. We're going to be seeing some Mutalisk, a nice Mutalisk harassment really soon by Dark versus MARU, and let's see if MARU is actually going to be prepared for this. Just a couple of Marines for him, one Viking, as yeah, one Zergling just keeps roaming around here, but yeah, no turrets for him, and as soon as this one Spire, Dark is going to save some minerals and gas just to pour out more and more of those Mutalisk towards MARU really soon. There is one Viking in the air, but he's just chasing some overlords. Now let's just check the build order from MARU. Standard 111 build order, and now he's going for more and more barracks around the 5-minute mark, so should be a nice infantry move out very soon by MARU. But is he going to be successful against the defense versus those Mutalisks? Let's just see. 5 Mutalisks are currently being produced. Only 2 hatchery. There's that second hatchery, but yeah, the Viking is nicely spotting everything here on the map, so good job here by MARU adding this one Viking, and also hunting of course those overlords, as we see actually a movement here onto this map. Very interesting map indeed it is. Yeah, one Hellion does try to pull here forward, but the Zerglings will take care of that, and the first Mutalisk are in the air. More are being spawned. Of course the upgrades are also now being done for those Mutalisks, so let's see where exactly Dark is going to be attacking. I believe it is around 6 Mutalisk. Is MARU ready for this? He has a tank, he has some Marines. Steam is just now being produced, and let's see where the attack. This expansion right here is quite exposed, so I believe Dark might try to attack there. Let's see what exactly is going to happen. Yes, indeed, he's going straight for this undefended base. A nice rush here by Dark, punishing MARU, already snapping 5 SCVs, even 7, 8 now, so the Marines are very slow, no steam is being done, and yeah, Dark is really mobile with those units. Just 2 Marines here, they will very likely get snapped, and more SCVs will fall, so a successful strategy here by Dark. A nice strategy if you're a Zerg player versus the Terran. Not going into that second expansion point, just 2 expansions, and sorry, just 1 expansion, and now just harassing the Terran with mass Mutalisk. So their job has been done, a small number of Mutalisk, snapping 14 SCVs, and their job is not done yet. I believe he's going to target more and more of those units, and this actually reminds me of Starcraft Broodwar, where this is a strategy for the Zerg versus the Terran, pretty much. Very much used mass Mutalisk harassment against the Terran. Let's see if Dark is going to continue to be going for some Mutalisk. By looks, he's just making 2 more, 8 Zerglings, some Banelings, so he might transition into some Banelings. Currently he's just roaming around the place from MARU, just showing his presence, just keeping MARU at bay, keeping him at home. And yeah, MARU quite under some early pressure here versus Dark. Dark with a great early game against him. It's just those couple of Mutalisks, now there's even more and more have been added. And yeah, now it's even he is quite more confident as he almost snapped this one Viking. Some Marines have fallen, and yeah, MARU just still keeps producing more and more of those Mutalisk and Zerglings as well. And at the same time he's also expanding with his hatcheries. So yeah, nice job here by him, spreading that creep, moving around. There are some turrets now, so it's going to be harder, but 2 more SCVs have been sniped. I believe MARU now finally feels confident enough to move out, but he needs to be careful to leave some units behind to defend, as those Mutalisks will of course be really fast. And yeah, now MARU feels confident. He's actually moving quite strong out. Going to snap those queen eggs, going to delay that creep, but we still have some Zerglings here hidden and some Banelings also hidden in the back. It could be a good flank here by MARU. It could be a surprise versus MARU, and here we go. MARU is teaming up. The siege tanks are also sieging up, but the Banelings keep rolling forward from all different directions. The tanks are now exposed as MARU had to kite back, but he got punished now by Dark with his units, with his Zerglings and Banelings. And yeah, more and more Banelings, as you can see in the upper left part, more and more Banelings and Zerglings are being produced. Upgrades also go out here for Dark. MARU, of course, now with his great micro, spreading those Marines. In comes Dark, can't really get any good connections, but let's see how things will unfold as MARU has returned now to 62 workers versus the 68 for Dark. So very much interesting game, completely different strategies, just like in game number 1. MARU once again insanely spreading those Marines, stemming up, sniping some Banelings, as he still needs some siege tanks. But hold on, we actually see Dark with a great surrounding maneuver coming in from all the sides. MARU is in serious trouble. Such a great surround here by Dark. MARU has to retreat, he has to kite back, but so many units will be lost. The medivacs are still in the air, but they will also be sniped by those Mutalisks, and somehow MARU stays alive with those Marines. He did lose quite some huge amount of that army, but in the end he stays alive. He did snipe those Banelings really nicely, and the Zerglings as well. And yeah, now once again Dark tries of course to find a better position, a better flank for his attacking forces. He's going for those Marines. The Mutalisks are actually in the back. And yeah, more and more Marines will pull forward with their combat shields and with their upgrades. So yeah, perhaps Dark is going to force once again MARU to stay back, attacking him perhaps onto his expansion point. This expansion point is quite exposed, just one turret here. Upgrades do go out, we still see them roaming around in the middle of the map. And yeah, MARU, let's see what exactly is producing at home. More and more Zerglings and Banelings. So this is his strategy as we've passed the 10-minute mark. And let's see if this is going to work out for him, as he is just showing his presence and not allowing, of course, a strong move out by MARU. MARU even have to pick up his units, stay back at home to defend against the Mutalisk. So interesting and nice strategy for Dark. Mass Mutalisk it is, of course. Mutalisk will stand no chance in the late game against the upgraded Marines, but early on they're really strong, like we've seen them sniping 14 of those SCVs, and there's even now mines. So yeah, mines also a great counter, not only against Mutalisks but also against those Zerglings and Banelings, even Roaches. So strong unit to have if you're a Terran versus the Zerg, as now MARU, I believe, is going to secure this expansion point really soon. So much of his infantry is moving out. There is even a Tor. I believe this one Tor actually deals splash damage towards the air units. So yeah, MARU transitioning perhaps into more and more those mechanical units, even add some Marauders, as he's also scanning now the proximity, sees of course such a huge amount of Zerglings with Banelings, and he's actually feeling confident to move out. The Mutalisks are once again in the back. MARU moves out with a task force in the front, leaves of course some units in the back, but actually it's a huge move out here by the infantry by MARU, as the Mutalisks do return, but yes, they will immediately getting sniped. And yeah, now Dark needs a good defensive position against this strong push by MARU towards him. Let's see, scans go out, but so many Zerglings here. He needs to get some good connections. He is on creep, he's very fast. Actually, another task force is attacking this one Tor from the back. So the reinforcements for MARU will be intercepted by those Mutalisks. So this was the idea by Dark, such a strong force, but still the Terran army is very strong. One upgrade has been cancelled. Dark tries to find a good position to surround those units. Comes in from all the sides. MARU is nicely splitting these units, but those Banelings just get some crazy connections here versus MARU. Still MARU is alive. His Marines are quite hurt. The medivacs do heal a lot, but yeah, in the end more and more damage has been dealt here against Dark, I believe. Now we even see the Queens heading here forward as the hatchery will be sniped, or is it MARU actually deciding to go for those Queens, sniping those Zerglings immediately as they pop out? But in comes Dark once again with his Mutalisks, with his Zerglings, and is it going to be enough? Let's have a look at so much damage is being taken. But yeah, the medivacs will pick up, and yeah, quite a strong force of Mutalisks have been lost here. But Dark somehow finding the resources to add more and more of his units. Those players pretty much hurt, as Dark is chasing now MARU away with his Mutalisks, with his Zerglings. And is he going to commit? This is going to be the question, but there is of course a tank perhaps in the back here to defend this wall. So yeah, Dark holding on it. Luckily for him, his expansion is still alive, so MARU with an interesting move, deciding to snipe the Queens, not to take out this one hatchery. So let's see how this is going to continue here as MARU once again feeling confident, moving out. Only one mine for him, one Tor. Then yeah, very interesting game number 2 we have here, with completely different strategies by both players, and Dark still staying strong with his actually Mutalisk. He might intercept some units here, but he needs to be careful. 2 Mutalisk immediately getting snapped. Third one also pretty much hurt, so Dark really has to be careful. This expansion is quite exposed. He might try to attack here. He might try to go for the production buildings as I see him move forward on the minimap. Yeah, he's so much mobile as he might try to snap one reactor or two, so Dark reacting with his Medivacs, picking up some units, but just a couple of Marines. So yeah, one reactor has been snapped as Dark is also moving out with his Zerglings on the map, his upgraded Zerglings. And yes, still Dark shows his presence here, keeps MARU at bay, keeps it at home, as he might also try to take out his infantry really soon. So yeah, let's have a look how this is going to unfold. One Overseer has been snapped here as well, as it's still anyone's game. Of course, Dark pretty much maxed out. High APM for both of them, 500 for Dark's 400. And we can also see the upgrades here in the lower right part. Now MARU at 3-3, being really strong, but Dark is coming in forward with his massive amounts of Zerglings, going here forward, once again attacking the economy from MARU taking quite some damage. Those Zerglings are all over the place, taking me by surprise. The door has been opened here by MARU, and he's suffering quite a lot. 22 workers, the turrets has fallen, the Banings getting some good connections, of course. Lots and lots of those Zerglings will fall as MARU keeps now defending, but Dark just keeps pushing forward against him, and everything is so much hurt here for the Terran. His first expansion point is pretty much deleted here, as yeah, Dark is just going to retreat and just going to replenish his forces, as his economy is looking, of course, really strong now. Double amount of workers versus MARU, and yeah, in comes MARU with his push, but the high ground is here for the Zerg. The Banings get some okay connections. Other Banings will be snapped here, but more Banings do push here forward. Dark not really having that much actually to offer here against MARU's push, so he needs to be really careful, find a good position. But in come those Zerglings from the back, and yeah, the mines in the back getting some great connections. Still so many Zerg units have been left, as 9 more workers have been snapped here at home from MARU. So yeah, MARU with his store ships now snapping those Mutalisk really nicely. But yeah, that economy looking more and more stronger here for the Zerg player, as he just kept snapping some workers here. Some mules have to of course be called immediately for the Terran to come back economic wise. But yeah, let's see how things will unfold, as once again MARU keeps pushing forward. No snipers this time for him, of course not that much needed now, as he's facing mass Zerglings with Banings. So yeah, snipers are pretty much not so good against so much of those Zerglings and those Banings. Let's see a good position here for Dark once again. He has the high ground, but MARU just keeps pushing forward with his units, with his infantry, going for this one hatchery. And let's see if Dark is going to commit good connections out of those Banings. He has more and more Banings in the back, and he's going to try once again attack, but at the same time he did snipe so many workers here, so quite some strong attack here once again by MARU. But in the end Dark is going to lose all of his units, so interesting enough the hatchery is going to finally getting snapped. But remember, 18 workers have been snapped for MARU. He's at 15 workers now, so is this going to work out for Dark, as he's once again also going to lose some workers here. So MARU finally getting some good pickups here, both players hurting each other at the same time. The economy once again hurting a lot from MARU. 21 drones have been sniped, but let's see if Dark is going to have enough to hold this attack. There's only 2 HP onto this one hero Tor with 11 kills. Let's see if the Zerglings will catch him, but no, he's way too tanky. And yeah, let's see. Our MARUs just keep pushing forward. This mine is going to get some good connections. And let's see, this infantry is actually pushing more and more forward. The Tors are in the back, nicely supporting those units. War is being brought here forward, and it's actually a victory for MARU here. So what a interesting and crazy game. With a much more higher supply depot of army, he's actually being able to take it, even though he dropped to 12 workers out of Dark's harassment. So 1-1 it is. Let's just jump straight into game number 3. Game number 3, as they're this time spawning on Waterfall. So very interesting game number 2, quite a balanced game. I was thinking that Dark had the advantage, of course he had the economic advantage, but in the end that army will be way too strong for MARU against him, with that push with those Tors still alive with low HP. But yeah, making the difference, of course, snapping so many of those Zerglings and those Banings. And yeah, that infantry looking very, very strong for MARU, maxed out infantry for him. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. In the upper right, in the blue, it is MARU, and in the lower left, in the red, it is Dark. What exactly is going to be the difference now in that build order? Are we going to see now Dark, by the looks of it, going for fast expansion this time? So not just like in game number 2, not going for supply depot, actually spawning pool first, and extractor going for his fast expansion. MARU still staying loyal by the looks of it to his first build order, his first 2 build orders. So yeah, the servers, sorry, the overlords are of course out on the map. Waterfall, a very beautiful map here, lots and lots of trees just like in the woods, looking really nice with this one river in the middle. So very, very beautiful map with lots of grass, lots of stones and birds in the air. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. The spawning pool is also up, and yeah, the extractor is also almost being finished here by Dark, as by the looks of it is going now into a very soon to be a second expansion point around the 2-minute and 30-second mark. MARU, of course, with the exact same build order like in the previous game, we're likely going to expand once again, perhaps also picking up some minerals to have good luck here for this one SCV, as the second SCV is moving out on the map here onto the grass, and really soon he's going to see, of course, the expansion point with creep being done very soon, so he's going to feel quite confident. And yeah, in comes the SCV, sees the timer, sees the expansion, as the drones have been transferred here by by Dark. So yeah, let's see, the overload is also really important here for Dark to check out exact the build order by the Terran. What exactly is going to come? Is it going to be a starport first as a third building, or is he going for a second expansion point? We're about to find out what exactly MARU's plans are here against Dark. Reaper is coming in, so everything is quite normal. Pretty soon as the queen is going to pop out, the Reaper harassment will stop. Or hold on, actually Dark making a nice round against this one Reaper, taking him out. So nice job here by him. Now he's even attacking the unbuildable plates here, so nice job by him, just clearing the ramp. Yeah, let's see that more and more creep is being spreaded, and there's also that expansion point I was talking about, as yeah, the overload by Dark is still just roaming around into this location, checking now of course to see it is actually a second expansion point by MARU, so no intentions to go for a starport. Dark sees this, it's going to retreat. So yeah, this is why this overload is really, really important for the Zergs. And yeah, now we see actually a barracks being placed here by MARU, so no starport, barracks, another barracks. Oh, it's just a second barracks here by him, so no starport by him. Quite interesting strategy, double Hellions it is going to be, just to harass the mineral line here for Dark. And let's have a look if Dark is going to some other buildings. Of course, see the production tab in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. So yeah, the Hellion is out giving some nice information. Also, we have a nice mirror looking like bridge here, so just like in the United States of America or China, you can see those bridges with those glasses. Yeah, really, really beautiful here to see underneath this one glass the river and the stones and the lands. So let's see what exactly the next buildings are going to be. Finally, MARU going for his starport, as his command center is also being done into a orbital command. So yeah, let's see, Dark still on the 3 strategies, 3 expansion strategy here, and no Baneling's Nest, although we actually see double evolution chamber. No other buildings, no roach under like this. I don't see it, maybe he hide it somewhere. But yeah, actually he's going for more and more drones, more and more queens, just spreading that creep really, really nicely, sadly destroying here the vegetation of this map. So yeah, in comes MARU, of course he will try to harass this, and he will try to clear those queen eggs really, really soon, but the queens are really, really strong early on. One Helen might get sniped, MARU is not paying attention, and yeah, more of that creep is getting spreaded even above the water. So yeah, nice job here by Dark. And we see 2 barracks, actually 1 starport, 1 factory. Let's see where exactly this is going to be taking, as he's going for a tech lab. Steam is also being made here, as the first 2 medivacs will pop out. It could be a harassment by MARU. He could attack the economy from Dark really, really soon, as Dark of course is going to react with some spores. Still not having a Baneling's Nest, or at least I don't see it. So no Baneling's Nest, no Roach Warren, just pretty much preparing his macro-orientated game and just preparing his creep highway towards MARU. So MARU knows this, of course, is going to pick up his infantry and starts the first harassment move out with his medivacs. Let's see if he's going to be successful. The queens are quite out on the map. They really also have to defend this expansion point. Some Hellions to pull here forward, so no defenses here for Dark. So a double attack here by MARU. Perhaps he's trying to chase away Dark from this expansion point as he has landed here towards this location. The Hellions did take quite some damage towards this one hatchery, but yeah, nicely reacting here, clearing the eggs and also snapping this one overload. So Dark already soon pretty much under siege, as just MARU just keeps roaming around nicely with his medivacs, with his marines, clearing egg after egg and just sniping overload after overload. But in this location, pretty well defended by MARU, sorry, by Dark. So let's see, he's going to steam up very likely, going straight for this one hatchery. Dark not really reacting so fast. Of course, he needs to be careful against those steamed marines. And yeah, MARU is just pretty much going to pick up, but there is a spore here. As MARU tries to find, of course, a good landing position against Dark. Dark nice thinking about this and adding this one spore into this location. At the same time, Dark actually moves out with quite a consistent force here of Zerglings. He's perhaps going to try a surround. He's going to try to attack on different sides here as well. Some infantry is being attacked here, but at the same time the economy from MARU once again suffering, as Dark is going for a nice surrounding maneuver. The SCVs actually have to fight, and yet MARU even have to retreat now from his main attacking force. He actually has to come back. Not that much here being left for him to defend, perhaps just a couple of tanks in the back and some Hellions, as the supply depots will be sniped here. Even the Hellions is dropping really low, so MARU quite under great siege early on, just by a couple of Zerglings here by Dark. But yeah, with that creep spread around the map, he's really mobile. And let's see what exactly he's going for. Let's just check his buildings. Did he went for anything else? He's actually upgrading Burrow, and yeah, he's still only at those Zerglings and infestation pit. So we might see some fungals. A very interesting strategy here by Dark. He does have that Baning's nest somewhere, but yeah, in comes MARU snapping that hatchery and now moving forward onto this one bridge. Let's see, this should be a nice round by Dark, but yeah, MARU reacting, picking up. Yes, there are so many Banings and so many Zerglings on the ground. And what exactly is going to happen? Is Dark perhaps going to commit here? Sadly here for MARU, he just picked those units down, and yeah, Dark pretty much in position just to surround all of those units. Let's see what exactly he's going for. He's spreading his units. He has Zerglings here, he has Banings all over the map. MARU just keeps him at the bay with his 2 medivacs, but such a huge amount of those Zerglings and Banings do pull here forward. There's just one lone Zergling here having quite a good time and being killed. Okay, let's see what Dark is going to be doing. He's going to try to surround those units. MARU picking up. Oh, a nice harassment here by MARU, just showing his presence, just keeping Dark at home. But for how long is this going to be continuing? When exactly is Dark going to decide to attack? As it's a nice cat and mouse game now in between them. And yeah, still Dark tries to, of course, perhaps push forward with his units, and he needs to not lose track against those 2 medivacs. It could be a nice attack. He even is creating more and more Banings. There are more and more Zerglings, so pretty soon he's going to be maxed out onto those Banings on Zerglings. And yeah, MARU finally tries to find a good position. He's steaming up here. In comes Dark with his Zerglings, with his queens, and the second expansion is also under siege. So yeah, Dark, by the looks of it, he had enough of it. He's just moving out with all of his forces against this expansion point. His Banings will get some good connections. Some tanks are still here, so much damage is being taken here by MARU. The Dark pretty much had enough of that harassment as he's moving forward. He even cleared the way here against those Zerglings, and yeah, he's looking actually really strong. His main forces even punch here forward towards the first expansion point by MARU, and yet actually MARU is GGing out as the swarm was just way too overwhelming here against MARU. So Dark with a great timing push here below the 10-minute mark, just pretty much punishing here MARU for his harassment early on, and yeah, just he pretty much had enough of it and just busted here forward. So nice job for him. Let's just jump straight into game number 4. And we're back with game number 4. Dark showing his skills, showing his talent in game number 3. I believe it was. Yes, indeed, this is game number 4. So yeah, Dark pretty much having enough in game number 3 versus MARU versus that harassment with those medivacs, as he just overwhelmed him with Zerglings and Banelings. Great timing push before the 10-minute mark, being almost maxed out, and yeah, just pouring forward against the economy from MARU, just punishing him really strong. 22 SCVs have been killed and everything was in shattered. So yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen here on Cosmic Sapphire, as we have in the upper left part in the blue, it is Dark, and his opponent also from South Korea. So both players from South Korea. In the lower right in the red, it is MARU. MARU running up pretty standard with his supply depot. Is it going to be a proxy barracks? No, I don't see any SCVs moving out on the map. And let's just check. Yeah, the build order from Dark, he once again goes for that fast expansion. To be quite a good open up here for him. So straight into fast expansion is going to very likely continue with a spawning pool and extractor really soon. And hold on, we actually see a completely different strategy here by MARU. This has been seen in the GSL being performed. Supply depot into fast expansion. Of course, a very risky open up here by the Terran, as if the Zerg will go for a fast spawning pool, the Terran is pretty much dead. But yeah, MARU being confident towards his instincts, and he's going straight for a fast expansion. So supply depot into fast expansion and then barracks. Yeah, Dark still searches for those proxy barracks. No such thing here for MARU, and a quite greedy and interesting gameplay here. Finally a different strategy here by MARU, feeling really confident, feeling very greedy, going for his straight fast expansion, as I believe his Reaper is going to be also added really soon. And yeah, spawning bull is about to get finished at around the 2-minute and 30-second mark. We are very likely going to see once again Dark going for his second expansion point, as the overlords are still out on the map searching for any suspicious buildings here by the Terran. But yeah, the expansion is about to get finished. One Marine just for some backup here, just for some tankiness. But yeah, we also see a factory being placed, as the expansion is going to go into an orbital really soon. So yeah, one lone Marine is moving out on the map. Third expansion actually is being done by Dark. And yeah, Dark just preparing his macro into the game. Of course, he doesn't know that this expansion that this expansion is actually up. So yeah, in comes his slow moving overlord, and really soon he's going to check, of course, the proximity here for MARU. Yeah, let's see another expansion actually being placed here by MARU. So yeah, quite a greedy build order here by MARU. Really like that. And let's see where exactly this is going to be taking him. And yes, the overlord is coming forward. He's going to see the starport, the barracks, and the second expansion point. Is there already being mined here? Yes, some SCVs actually do mine here. And yeah, the overlord sees the second expansion point and these buildings here for MARU. So the pretty standard stuff here by him. Let's see Dark still staying loyal into his own expansion, into his own build order, as those creeps, as those queens will be spreading more and more of that creep here around the map. We even have some debris here could be cleared just to make way for an attack. We see some Hellions now move out. Let's see if this is going to be a successful push by MARU. Starport going into this one Viking. Of course, he wants to snipe this one overlord as quickly as possible. Some mules have been called here down. The Hellions are pushing out. Let's see if they're going to be successful into sniping some of those workers, but there's no workers here, just one queen. But yeah, this queen early on is really tanky against those Hellions, so MARU pretty much has to retreat. At the same time, one Zergling is coming here forward, sees of course the expansion point, sees of course how many workers are here. So Dark might know now that it was a first fast expansion build order by MARU, and yeah, sadly for him, his overlord is going to get pretty much sniped now against this one of Vikings. So yeah, let's see what exactly the next buildings are going to be. Of course, you can see everything in the upper left part, just in case if I'm missing something. We see some 2 double infestation pits now being done, as Dark is perhaps going to go for that same build order just like in game number 3. We're about to find out what exactly he's going for. For some upgrades, I believe it is for those Zerglings on the ground. And yes, some Banelings could also be added really soon by Dark. Currently he's just mining more and more, just preparing his macro game. And let's see what MARU is going to be doing, actually massively adding those barracks. So we have 5 barracks. It's going to be perhaps very soon a push with some medivacs. or this one Viking is just being chased away. No, it's actually some Hellions here that are being sniped. So MARU not being successful with his Hellion harassment. Dark nicely defending here against him, as now MARU establishes here his second expansion point, and this hero Viking clone on the ground, in the air, I mean, going to snipe a second overlord here. So nice job here for MARU with this one Viking. And yeah, the wall is going to be prepared really soon here for MARU. And yeah, he's actually also preparing his macro-oriented game. Let's just see more and more of that infantry is going to be added. So yeah, like I told you, very soon those two medivacs could pick up that infantry. Steam is being done, combat shields are being done. Should be done really soon. 1-1 weapons upgrades and armor. As yeah, MARU just roaming around, just snipes an egg or two. And yeah, then just leaves. So yeah, let's see if MARU is going to commit with his two medivacs. Some infantry is on the ground. More and more will be added really soon, as the upgrades are also nicely going out. And he's also adding some mines, so he's expecting once again mass Zerglings with banings. So yeah, mines was the perfect counter towards those banings, towards those Zerglings, dealing massive amounts of splash damage. But tanks are also really good, but they need to be nicely defended in the back, as MARU is now finally pushing forward here against Dark. Yeah, let's see, it's going to be a strong push perhaps against this new build hatchery in the upper part. In come the medivacs, the Hellions are on the ground as well. And slowly but steadily we're closing at the 10-minute mark, so looking like a really strong push. The creep X could be sniped. Dark pretty much on the defense here really soon. The medivacs are perhaps going to land with Stim. He's perhaps waiting for those combat shields. So in come the Marines, sniping those eggs and now going for those queens. And at the same time we actually see Dark here move out with Zerglings, so taking me by surprise, taking even MARU by surprise, as those Zerglings are dancing here, interesting enough, into this position. But 12-21 SCVs have been killed. MARU just has to pick up and retreat home. So yeah, what a strong push here by Dark, just pretty much taking us by surprise, just sniping all of those workers here. And MARU early on in some serious trouble. His economy is pretty much in shambles. He has lost 35 workers. Raining still get some connections against the infantry. Is MARU somehow going to come up with a miracle move here, as he's lost so much of his workers? He's finally going to replace some of them with some mules, but yeah, his economy is lost so much. As Dark pretty much just obliterating here his economy, and more banelings getting some great connections, even more connections here. 5 more workers have fallen. 38, 39 now. MARU, what a crazy move, even taking me by surprise. Somehow MARU found a way here forward to attack the economy from MARU. I meant Dark, of course. So yeah, still MARU has quite a strong force. He has more supply than Dark. So let's see if this is somehow going to be possible for him to somehow come back. We've seen, of course, many comebacks here by MARU. And yeah, some overseers are being added just to snipe, of course, the mines on the ground. So yeah, in comes MARU with his infantry once again with those mines. Is Dark once again going to be taking him by surprise? Some Zerglings are being spawned here, the mines are nicely being laid down, and finally some workers will fall here as well. But in comes Dark from the back with those Zerglings, with those banings. He's really fast onto this creep. At the same time, once again we see some great connections out of banings here. So 8 more workers have been sniped. The hatchery, sorry, the command center is also taking quite some damage here, dropping really low. So MARU has to repair. And yeah, really a hard game for MARU against Dark here. Dark taking him by surprise. Some great timing pushes. And yeah, things perhaps will settle down a little bit here, as MARU just shows his presence, but at the same time he's also moving out in different directions just to secure his expansion point. However, this wall is perhaps going to be attacked really soon by Dark, as Dark once again tries for a surround maneuver against MARU. The banings are going to clear the way. They are mines here, but the SCVs are pretty much once again exposed, as in comes Dark from all his sides, from this side here as well, with quite a strong force. And sadly here for MARU, he just leaves the door open. So interesting enough, such a huge mistake here by him, as yeah, Dark is pretty much taking him by surprise. So nice job here by Dark in game number 4. Let's just jump straight into game number 5. Score is 3-1 for Dark. Dark taking MARU by surprise, even taking me by surprise with those fast moving Zerglings. Such a great attacking points here by him against the economy from MARU. Yeah, let's see what is going to happen here on Inside and Out, as we have spawning in the upper right in the red MARU from South Korea, and his opponent also from South Korea, Dark, as the blue Zerg in the lower left here from Inside and Out. Yeah, by the looks of it, MARU just keeps staying loyal to his build order. Is he going to once again for a fast expansion? We're about to find out. With no barracks, with no gas, let's see. And Dark also preparing here, I believe, his fast expansion here as his drone is now moving out. So the pretty standard stuff this time. MARU not deciding to be greedy with his fast expansion, just going straight for this barracks and his refinery. So we might see him go for this one Reaper push really soon, as the Dark staying loyal for his fast expansion hatchery. We also have a nice beautiful map here with lava on the ground, lots of trees here. And yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be here. Of course, Dark is very likely going for his spawning pool and extractor. Actually, extractor first and spawning pool very close here to that middle line. So yeah, the pretty standard stuff here by both of them. Finally, normal build orders for the Terran and for the Zergs. Let's have a look. The barracks is about to get finished. Is it going to be a Marine first or a Reaper? Actually, it's a Marine first. Quite interesting enough, not going for a Reaper first here, so perhaps he's hearing some early harassment by the Zerg with some Zerglings. But yeah, expansion is also being now started. And yeah, just like in the previous game, around the 2-minute and 30, 2-minute and 40-second mark, we're going to be seeing the second expansion point by Dark, as he's also going for his second gas now. Of course, you can see the production tab in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. Yeah, here we have a factory. And he might continue with a second expansion point, or he might continue with a starport. This is obviously the question here for the Terrans, and this is exactly why Dark is, of course, moving out with his overlord, just to see exactly what the thoughts for MARU are, what exactly his plans are. And yeah, once again we see the beautiful lava here, the nice fireplace, some blue to green trees here onto this map, and really beautifully here. So yeah, inside and out. And yeah, we have that second expansion point here for Dark. No Zerglings being produced yet, actually just a couple of them killing that unbuildable plates. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen here, as we actually see a starport now being placed by MARU. So no second expansion point by him, straight into starport. So he's going to be perhaps more aggressive here against Dark very soon. Perhaps he's going to try a attack with some medevacs here, and even adds a mine as his aliens also move out. This one Marine almost snapping this one overlord here. So yeah, let's see this one Hellion is actually moving out here against Dark. What exactly is going to be finding? No Reaper harassment, just straight Hellion. What exactly can one Hellion do against so many queens on the ground? First, just to scout the proximity a little bit, as more and more of that creep is being added here by Dark. So yeah, we have an infantry move out here by MARU. Of course, Stim is not being done yet. More and more units are being produced, more and more Hellions. We even have a medevac. So let's see, MARU looking like he's going to be early on much more aggressive like in the previous game, but as I say, this is actually returning back home. So yeah, actually feeling at the same time a push out here by Dark with many Zerglings. And yeah, we're about to find out what exactly is going to happen, as one mine and Marines are being picked up. So MARU might try to harass the first expansion point, or even straight go for the main. It could be really strong push with this one medevac, 6 Marines. At the same time, those 3 Hellions would also be really strong, as the speed is about to get finished for Dark against those Zergs. We even have one Raven being produced and roaches. So now we have actually a transition from Dark straight into roaches. So no mass Zerglings, and in comes the push, in comes the borrow here. Dark not reacting sadly for him, but interesting enough, MARU just uprooting this one mine. So finally 1 or 2 drones will be sniped. 2 drones actually only. So interesting enough, I believe this one mine could have dealt so much more damage, but in the end MARU just uprooting it. Perhaps a misclick by him. But yeah, MARU is going to retreat. So only 2 drones for 1 mine, not really the trade he wanted. And we actually see a timing push being made here by Dark. So Dark with a surprise here for MARU, as his roaches are just pushing out here on the map. And yeah, those Hellions will of course stand no chance. He really needs a tank in the back. Stim is about to get done. Yeah, the Hellions do deal some damage, but those roaches are really tanky. Finally in come the Marines to save here this ground, and yeah, in the end he should be able to hold with Marines, with those medevacs, even microing those hurted Hellions out of danger. So yeah, MARU is going to hold. He's even going to drive the roaches back. Another Hellion has been sniped, but the roaches fall more and more lower as they're getting now grilled by the Hellions. So nice timing push attempt by Dark with roaches. It's around the 5-minute mark. But yeah, MARU looking much stronger here into this game. Let's see what's going to happen. Is he going to decide to be more aggressive? Is he going to decide to move out here against Dark? He's going to try a split attack with Hellions and with his Medivacs, as the Queens 2 are on standby to defend here. And yeah, lots and lots of upgrades here. Lots and lots of production here for the Terran, as the roaches are nicely being microed here by Dark. And yeah, MARU just showing his presence here, and in the end he just decides to pull back a little bit, as he's also preparing another expansion point here into the main, and he's going to land it really soon. Upgrades also nicely go out. I believe Dark also having a double evolution chamber onto his own, just to add more and more of those upgrades. And we even have that roach warrant, of course, but sadly for Dark his timing push didn't really work out. No Ravager sadly for him. Perhaps it would have been a better idea to go for this unit, but yeah, in the end the roaches have been repelled back. And yeah, now only an infestation bit, and now actually only now the double evolution chamber for those upgrades, as Dark is also expanding into the 6 o'clock position. But yeah, in comes MARU with his small task force. At the same time, a Banshee here attacking with 2 kills. I believe those were roaches, as yeah, Dark tries of course to snap this one, but his expansion is pretty much under siege here. Nice teaming. I believe he could actually cancel this one, so yeah, good cancellation here for MARU against this one. And yeah, the Marines have to run for their lives as the Medivacs has been snapped. So good sniping here, good defense, but still a nice sniping here, a nice cancellation point by MARU versus Dark. And yeah, let's see, we're closing slowly but steadily in at the 10-minute mark. Still an interesting game here. We have a balanced game, a much more calculated game by both players. Sadly for MARU, his harassment didn't really work out, and for Dark the timing push also didn't work out, so it's still anyone's game now. And yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be. Finally some tanks are being added here by MARU. Infantry, even a Marauder here having more and more HP than those Marines. As by the looks of it, MARU really wants to cancel this expansion point, either that or just bust here forward. But yeah, so many roaches, so many Queens and Ravagers in the back, as more and more is being added of course by MARU. MARU also creating a nice wall of, but there are no banings this time for Dark versus him. Just a couple of Zerglings, just so many roaches. Let's have a look. The X will be snapped. As in comes the infantry, in comes those Hellions, and the siege tanks are of course so much important. They should be defended in the back, so here we go. Nice fighting back and forward, but Dark holds his ground. He's going to snap one tank with those fireballs. The infantry still nicely kiting back and forth, but by the looks of the Dark just having way too much. Some reinforcements will pull here forward by MARU. MARU still holds his ground. The second tank has been snapped, and now he just pretty much has to retreat, but at the same time Dark also taking quite some damage. Just 3 Ravagers are being alive. Finally the Zerglings come here forward to support. Same can be said for MARU, as his infantry is also coming forward to support. And yeah, by the looks of it, MARU now finally looking really confident, really strong, as he's going to be now targeting this one hatchery. Roaches coming from the back, but it's a little bit too late as the hatchery has fallen. So yeah, nice job here by MARU, still holding his ground with his Marines, with those Medivacs. Even the drones have to be pulled now here by Dark, but the drones will fall really quick. The tank in the back dealing so much splash damage. And yeah, MARU just coming in forward. Finally he has to retreat, but the job has been done, as he has sniped so much here from Dark. And yeah, Dark tries now of course to counter somehow with his roaches, with his Ravagers. 12 drones have been sniped. Much better game here by MARU versus Dark, as he's going to regroup here, perhaps just repair those Medivacs and heal up. So nice sniping here by MARU, and let's not forget that he also snapped quite a large amount of workers. So yeah, Dark dropping to 62 workers, as he's just going to vomit here, or feces, this creep, more and more creep being spreaded here by him. But yeah, MARU looks like he's not going to give up that easy. He's adding more and more Marauders actually. The Marauders much more tankier. Dark sees the move out. 2 tanks still in the back. X once again being snapped, so Dark has to prepare for another push here by MARU, as we have passed the 10-minute mark just like now. And yeah, let's see what exactly Dark has to defend. Some roaches, actually many roaches, some Ravagers, but he also needs some Zerglings to take out the first shots out of those Marauders. And yeah, in comes MARU with his medivacs, 5 of them, Marines on the ground, and Marauders already sieging up, really early siege up here by him, as he's once again attacking this expansion point, nicely kiting back and forth, luring of course Dark in. Dark is coming up with his Zerglings in the back, but yeah, MARU just picks up and retreats. At the same time, more and more of his forces are joining the attack. His economy this time not being punished by Dark, so Dark not sending out any Zerglings. Interesting enough, he's went really heavily into those Roaches and Ravagers. Finally he had some Banelings, but is it going to be enough here to hold off this attack? The Zerglings will of course stand no chance. Finally good connection out of those Banelings, but it's just 2 of them, the Ravager balls almost hitting the infantry here for MARU. And the MARU just keeps pushing forward, the tanks are in the back, nicely kiting back and forth, the medivacs nicely healing. Of course the micro is really great, he's just microing them out of that harm. And yeah, Dark decides to actually give up this expansion point. The Banelings will also take some damage, but good connections this time as they're being spawned. But we actually have 3 tanks in the back and great fireballs against MARU's medivacs. Yeah, MARU coming in from all sides, so much damage being taken by both players. Still great connections here by those Ravagers, and the Zerglings do pull here forward. We even have some Vipers on the ground with great binding clouds, but still MARU takes it, so Dark GG'd out. He only has 19 supplies left for army, so he just GG'd out. So it is actually now 3-2. Let's just jump straight into the next game. And we're back with game number 6, a much better game number 5 by MARU with his infantry, with his medivacs, proving to be much stronger here against Dark. And this time Dark, in the previous game, he went for Roach Ravagers and just later Banelings, and yeah, that push didn't really work out for him well. Zerglings and Banelings works very well for him, even Mutalisk. But yeah, sadly those Roaches, those Ravagers, not that good. So we are spawning this time on Tropical Sacrifice in the lower left, in the blue it is Dark, and in the upper right part in the red it is MARU. And yeah, once again a beautiful map here with still some water, still some bridges, nice crystals here. So let's have a look at the build order really quick by Dark, what exactly he's going for. It looks of it, a fast expansion once again for him, and yeah, MARU still staying loyal now to his build order, supply depot into refinery and into barracks. So yeah, fast expansion for MARU it is, as he's still roaming around the map, searching of course for those proxy barracks first, but yeah, no such thing on the map. And let's see how things will unfold here on Tropical Sacrifice. Quite a small map. Let's see if Dark is going to go back to his previous strategy with those Zerglings, with those Banelings. Perhaps even Mutalisk, perhaps he's going for some Hydras. Could be a possibility. Zerglings with Banelings and Hydras. And yeah, but yeah, let's just see how the early game unfolds. We've passed the 1 minute mark. Dark is very likely going for the 2 minute and 30-second expansion mark here really soon, as the first Marine is being produced here by MARU. So interesting enough, he's going for a Marine first and now also expanding at the same time. His second SCV should be out on the map. I don't see him yet, but yeah, he's just expanding. And yeah, there's this one Marine. Also have some nice fireplaces here next to the ramp, a very beautiful map, as we see the factory being spawned here. Once again, we're going to be interesting to see if he's going for a expansion or a starport here. So yeah, the overlords are out on the map. A nice sandy beach looking like ground here. So yeah, sadly there is no actually there is this one, the water here. So yeah, nice map here, as we have water of course left and right. It could be the ocean, it could be the sea. So yeah, very beautiful map here, as we are closing at the 2 minute and 30-second mark. And yeah, there indeed is that second expansion point here for MARU, still extractor with spawning pool. Let's just check. MARU really quick, he did not send out a SCV, did not send out a scouting SCV, so he might feeling really confident, as he's not going for a second expansion point, he's actually going for a starport. So we might see him once again being aggressive. And yeah, Dark knows this, of course, he knows the timer really well. He really wants to check out the proximity, he really wants to see if he sees of course the starport. He knows that some early harassment is coming forward, so he didn't see perhaps the second expansion point, so he decides to pull back, as one Viking might be added really quick for MARU. And MARU now just scouting the map with his one Hellion against Dark. And let's see what Dark is going to go net. I think here this speed is also being done for those Zerglings, as he's trying to connect the creep between the expansions really soon. So yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen here, what exactly the next strategies are going to be here. The first Medivac is being produced, so no Viking, no intentions for him to snap this one Overlord straight into Medivac. And yeah, nice wall being prepared. Even a mine is being added, so we might see a early harassment here by Dark. Double Hellion it is here as well. One Medivac is picking up those units. Could be a really strong push here by MARU against Dark. Even one Hellion leading the way here forward. Actually more and more Hellions, so it could be a double attack here by MARU versus Dark. Let's see, is Dark going to be prepared for this? His queens are out on the map. 2 here into his location, 2 here. And yeah, his main actually pretty much exposed, so if Dark... Actually, if MARU decides to attack the main, and this is exactly what he's doing, but yeah, there is this one Overlord sees this, and Dark needs to be really quick to head back home with his queens to defend here. Let's see, Hellions are also inbound, but yeah, the real attack is going to happen here into his location. Nice position being found here by MARU with his infantry in the back, and a nice placed mine. Let's see what those Hellions can do, but queens are here to respond. However, the main is pretty much under siege here, so Dark losing quite some mining time here as those Hellions do pull here forward, but the spread is really nicely here by Dark. Only 2 drones have been snapped as the Hellions are pretty much surrounded now, so that's nice defending here by Dark as he's pushing here MARU away. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. Dark having even a double evolution chamber here. No Baning's Nest, at least I don't see a Baning's Nest. Perhaps I missed it. You can see it, of course, in the upper left part. Steam is now just being made. So very early harassment here by MARU versus Dark, as he just keeps pushing forward, just keeps sniping every unit which he can, and even the mine taking out some units. Now he just has to pick up, as so much is being added here by Dark. The mine almost getting sniped, as MARU might try to return home just to repair and come back. And yeah, let's see, still no second expansion point, or is he producing one at home? No, he's just adding a reactor towards this one starport. 3 factories at home for MARU. Dark pretty much staying into his Zerg queen unit, and actually he's going for a tier 2 now, being a spore. So let's see what exactly this strategy is going to be. Perhaps he's going for some Hydra lurkers. He might go for some Mutalisks once again. And yeah, MARU, like I told you, no second expansion attempts by him. He's adding more and more of those barracks, but will his economy allow this for him to add so many units out on the map? Looks like a timing push here by MARU. And yeah, Dark doesn't really know about this, as he's just feeling confident to expand here. But yeah, in comes a Raven now in the air, just to see those creep eggs and just to snipe them, not to allow so much creep being done here by the enemy. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Yes, MARU feeling confident to move out at 6 minute and 30-second mark towards the base from Dark. Is Dark going to be prepared against such a huge infantry? We even have a tank here on the ground. Dark pretty much under siege now. He needs to find a good position to defend here. In comes MARU. He sees the expansion point. He's going straight for it. Dark caught pretty much by surprise. Some Zerglings are on the ground to respond. But yeah, so much here for MARU as in comes Dark from the back. Tries of course for a nice round. So many Zerglings are on the ground. The mines get some good connections. MARU finds a nice spot to clump up his units together. But yeah, he's going to be held at bay, so nicely holding up together. The tank has been snapped. But yeah, let's see, the queens are also trying to take out those medivacs. The medivacs are pretty much hurt. Banings do get some connections here. They do get spawned. But yeah, more and more is being added here by MARU. More and more of his infantry, and even this one tank of course really important in the back. So let's see for how long Dark is going to be able to hold with his Zerglings, with his Banings. MARU not letting go. He's going to snipe this one expansion, so the first blood has been drawn here by MARU as he's just pushing here forward. And yeah, Dark tries to find of course a nice surround area here versus the infantry for MARU. MARU just keeps pushing forward. He has a Raven, he has a tank, in a nicely hidden tank here in the bushes. So yeah, nice things drop here by him. As yet Dark might try to come in from the back with some Zerglings, but yeah, it's getting spawned. It's getting located by those medivacs. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen here, as more and more units are nicely being spreaded here by MARU. And yeah, those Zerglings in the back try of course to intercept those near infantry, the reinforcements. But yeah, so much nice kiting back and forward. Still a strong force here by Dark. MARU goes of course for those Banings. Tries now to attack And yeah, Dark tries of course to surround his unit somehow, coming in from the left, from the right, but yeah, the Zerglings have been killed. And yeah, now MARU just goes and holds his ground here, and tanks are nicely attacking here. Dark tries to come in from the back, tries to snipe the reinforcements, but this force already in the front with Stim looking really strong. Finally in comes this one Zergling push. This one tank might get snapped, but there's still another tank here being picked up. And then MARU still looking really confident. His infantry is really high. As the infantry and the reinforcements are pulling here forward here. A great timing push here around the 6-minute and 30-second mark by MARU. Just taking Dark by surprise, punishing really hard. So yeah, let's just jump straight into game number 7. Whoever wins this wins actually the grand final of the ASL tournament. MARU spawning in the upper right as the as the red Terran, and his opponent spawning in the upper left as the blue Zerg. It is Dark. So yeah, interesting series, 3-3 it is. The last game here, let's see what exactly is going to happen. As MARU, interesting enough, is actually moving out with his SCV early on. So really confident move here out, finally going for a proxy barracks, but where exactly is going to hide this one proxy, as we're about to find out. They're spawning here on Stargazer, so many places to hide their proxies. We also have some nice crystals here, very beautiful purple vegetation here. And yeah, this is the spot being found by MARU. Let's see where those overlords are out on the map here. There's that expansion point for Dark. So Dark going straight for a normal build order, and here is the double barracks being spawned by MARU. The overlord is pushing out, but sadly here for Dark, second overlord is really slow. So there we have even the rally points. So he's going to be quite slow here. Perhaps if he would have taken a direct path here, but of course it's really hard to guess where exactly the Terran is going to spawn those barracks. We even have refinery being made here, one supply depot at home. Yeah, in comes Dark, slowly but steadily pushing here forward with his overlord, and really soon he's going to see now the 2 barracks being finished. So what exactly is going to be his call? Is he going to call some drones? What exactly is he going to be doing? As this one SCV is also really important. I believe Dark did spot it, or didn't he spot it? No reaction for him. I believe he did not see it. No, or actually no, he did see it. There is his spawning pool. He prepares actually a second expansion. There are the first Marines actually moving out. There is that one bunker. And yeah, long distance mining here for Dark, as he really wants to clear this expansion point, but it's pretty much under siege here by MARU. So yeah, MARU with a very strong push out here in the last game. Let's see if this is going to work out for him. His bunker is about to get finished. Actually, Dark even taking this second expansion, so he is calculating that his expansion here might fall. One queen is about to get finished really soon, as more and more Marines are moving out here by MARU, and at the same time one factory of course is being placed at home. Second bunker also being produced. Actually taking quite some damage. There are the first Zerglings here, but what exactly can they do against those 2 bunkers? Nice round against this one SCV. But yeah, this hatchery is pretty much going to fall, so I believe this is exactly why Dark decided to take that second expansion point. Still a huge investment here by MARU. It's also many Marines, 2 bunkers. Of course the bunkers can be salvaged, but yeah, in the end the hatchery is bleeding. So MARU taking first blood with this nice proxy barracks attack, as more and more Marines are being produced here for him. And yeah, now even hiding those Marines into this one bunker against the locusts. Yeah, still some drones are being produced here by Dark. So Dark using of course every resources he has, those hatcheries. So yeah, that larva is really, the larva cocoon is really tanky against those Marines. And yeah, now some drones might get snapped here. Let's see, even he will have really soon vision of the high ground, but Dark playing really intelligent. He has his expansion up, and now MARU also decides to go for his expansion. So quite a strong commitment here by MARU, as MARU is pushing forward. There are some Zerglings, there are some queens on the ground. He has vision, he might try to salvage those bunkers. And yeah, he sees now of course everything Dark has with this one barracks in the air. We have Dark holding on. He still has his expansion. Worker wise, they're both at the same worker count. 2 queens of course really strong, even 3 queens now on the high ground. So it's of course really hard for MARU to attack there. He's actually deciding to push back, so quite a strong force by Dark, knowing of course that the high ground is really important. He might even try to snipe this one bunker really soon. Only one Marine here, so he should be okay. Actually MARU abandoning this hold. So nice intelligent gameplay here by Dark, holding really nicely here. There was another ramp here, but of course we have to mine those minerals out of the way. So yeah, Dark with a great hold. I believe he's once again going to expand, but MARU already having this one medevac, so this would be really crucial for him. Finds a good spot, snipes one creep egg, and yeah, let's see what's going to happen. The Marines are taking quite some damage, but at the same time also attacking here, and the medevac is dropping really low. And yeah, MARU, sadly for him, he did lose quite a huge amount of his infantry, as his medevac is also going to retreat now. So yeah, in the end, MARU, I believe, is actually a little bit behind. You can see that the worker count, you can see that the army count, and yes, really smart gameplays here by Dark versus MARU, holding up really nicely. As yeah, more and more barracks are being produced here for the Terran as well, past the 5-minute mark. So interestingly, we see proxy barracks, but yeah, the Zergs have of course adapted, as we have a very beautiful map here, very nice purple lakes here. Perhaps there are some fishes down there, and yeah, let's see. Some Hellions will try to move out here, perhaps attack this one creep egg. And yeah, Dark has lost one overload against this one Viking, but still he's looking like a good position here. Actually attacking his own Viking, perhaps just to snipe this one egg, so I don't know why exactly he's doing. Perhaps he's just likes to punishing himself. So here, what an interesting move here by him. I believe he tried to snipe this one egg, and perhaps he tried to snipe the minerals. A very interesting move here by MARU, punishing himself, punishing that Viking, of course. A little bit of a interesting strategy. Okay, let's see what the next steps are going to be. More and more creep is being spreaded. Let's check if there is a Banix nest somewhere. But yeah, no, just double evolution chamber. And there we see MARU moving out with what exactly is happening here. Hellions, so lots and lots of Hellions. I believe he might try to snipe them. And one roach warrant here, so we see Dark actually transitioning to roaches. Let's just see if this is going to be good for him, as the Hellions will be dropped very soon. But just MARU needs to find a good position. There is even a spore here, so Dark thinking of course about everything. Steam is also being finished, so nice job here by MARU, as he's also preparing a defense for his second expansion point. So yeah, still anyone's game. Roaches it is indeed, so we might see a timing push by Dark really soon with some roaches, with some Zerglings, even Banelings. But yeah, he needs to spread more and more of that creep. Of course, there's a nice creep here, highway, very close to the first expansion point from MARU. And yeah, Zerglings are roaming around. Let's see, Dark also deciding to take this expansion point, as yeah, the medevacs are also here into this location with 2 tanks here for MARU, and some infantry is also getting now pushed out here by MARU. So let's see, this expansion point is going to be the next targeting point. Some queens are on the ground. We actually see Ravager, so straight Ravager. Might see a queen Ravager push here by Dark really soon against MARU. More and more roaches are being produced, so MARU attacking at 2 fronts with Hellions into this location. His other medevacs are also on the down part. Some Zerglings will be sniped. MARU pretty much sacrificing those units, but the real damage will of course be dealt here against this one hatchery. Dark being prepared for that with his Ravagers. And yeah, some roaches also being here. So yeah, MARU will take quite some damage. He did force a cancellation, but he also took quite some damage. So yeah, what exactly is going to be happening here, as the hatchery has to of course be rebuilt. At the same time, MARU still expanding his upgrades to go out. We also have Glial Reconstitution, so nice job here by Dark. And other attacks, I believe it's 1 weapons upgrades and armor here for the Zerg also going out, so nice job here by him. And Dark even taking this other expansion point, so he just keeps expanding all over the map, so it's not going to be a timing push. He's actually preparing his macro orientated game versus MARU. But yeah, MARU having those tanks in the back looking really strong, just spreading them really nicely, as there even is one marauder here in the front. I believe this could be the general of the tank army. So yeah, let's see, once again MARU being the one with a timing push. Lots and lots of infantry, lots and lots of medivacs, but there are Ravagers and roaches on the ground. And this hatchery is also about to get finished really soon here by Dark, as Dark just keeps spreading more and more of those creep eggs. And we are really soon he's going to be knocking here at the door from MARU. So yeah, what exactly is going to happen here as MARU is pushing forward with his infantry. Even one marauder here is being added. And yeah, the hatchery is pretty much going to be finished here. As yeah, in comes MARU is going to scan perhaps the proximity. Queens are here to defend the Zerglings coming from the front, so Dark being prepared for this attack. Queens also nicely healing themselves up. And yeah, MARU keeps of course Dark at bay. As yeah, worker wise we have now 75 workers for Dark versus the 67 for MARU. And yeah, MARU, if he's going to really attack, he has to of course take his tanks with him, as those tanks are really important against such a huge mass of Zergs. So yeah, the tanks also have to be protected, and interesting enough, MARU just decides to allow the creep spread here, not scanning the proximity, but hold on, we have interesting engagement in the middle of the map. We even see some banelings now, so a nice mix of units. We have Zerglings, banelings, roaches, ravagers, and even some queens here as we have passed the 11-minute mark here. So let's see what exactly is going to be the decision here by Dark. His creep highway is really strong. He might try to attack, scanning the area. Finally, MARU is going to be sniping those creep eggs on the ground. And yeah, let's see where exactly this is going to be taking you. Of course, it's really crucial to kill so much creep as possible against your opponent. And yeah, some rocks will be cleared here as well for Dark, as another small task force is being prepared here for MARU just to attack this location. But Dark looking like really ready for this with his Zerglings, with his roaches, also preparing perhaps 2 attacks against MARU. Let's see what's going to be happening. MARU picking up his units, he's going to try to defend. And yeah, banelings with roaches, with Zerglings here for Dark is perhaps going to attack this location. But yeah, MARU looking like really strong, really prepared here against this push out. So what exactly is Dark's next steps are going to be? Where exactly is he going to be attacking? Or is he going to just play it safe? He's going to allow more and more of that economy to flourish for him. And yeah, 78 workers for him, 77 for MARU, as MARU just keeps killing more and more of that creep. So nice job here by him. At the same time, we also see an interesting move here by Dark with mass overlords. So it's going to be a drop by the looks of it. Such an interesting strategy by both players. Some small attacks being prepared here, but we need an important eye onto those overlords. We can see them move out on the minimap here. There they are, going straight for this expansion point. At the same time, Dark preparing a strong push here in the middle. MARU thinks of course that this is the main attack force, but those overlords also in the upper high ground. So let's see, look at the drop, nice drop here by Dark, taking MARU by surprise. MARU nicely reacting, but in the end so much is being thrown here towards MARU. MARU pretty much under siege. 14 workers have been killed, lots and lots of workers are being hurt. So yeah, Dark with a very intelligent multitask here, sniping more and more of those workers. Those Zerglings are still alive here. MARU pretty much has to retreat back home, and now he's just going to borrow them here. So MARU still has no idea about this, and he's just going to pick up his units and move back. But yeah, leave some Zerglings. So this once again reminds me of Starcraft Broodwar with those borrowed units. And yeah, good scan this time, but those Zerglings are still alive here. The snipers are invisible, and a great harassment here by Dark versus MARU. Lots and lots of snipers, however, so Dark needs to be careful. He might try to transition into more banelings now against this infantry by MARU. So quite an interesting game here. We have great harassment by Dark, nice double push here straight into 2 locations. That drop was really strong, hurting the economy quite a lot for MARU, and now MARU reacting immediately with some turrets. But we even have some ultras now on the ground. So ultras with banelings, with Zerglings, quite a tanky force by the Zerg. Is he going to commit? Is he going to attack? Where exactly is he going to choose to attack? As he's pushing forward with a nice flank here, taking those Marines a little bit by surprise. MARU's nicely kiting them back and forward. Tank is getting some good connections. We see some crazy attacks here. Even this planetary fortress is attacking, but so many banelings will get some good connections. The SCVs can't really run away, and over 40 SCVs have been fallen here as well. So yeah, quite a strong force. And yeah, Dark pretty much just destroying now MARU's economy. What a crazy double push with those overlords on the high ground, dropping those units into this economy, and now just transitioning straight for the final push into those banelings, into those ultras here. Really strong push by Dark. Nice an intelligent defense at the early game versus the proxy barracks from MARU. So in the end, yeah, Dark taking this, I believe it is 4-3. Crazy series. Nice games here from Valencia. And yeah, once again, I hope you enjoyed this series as much as I did. We'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays, in the next series, longer games are about to follow here onto this channel, and longer series as well. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. This is your host Tommy signing out.